Evening, everybody. This is Bill and Lori from LessonPix, and we are going to do our LessonPix show and tell on a snake bit Monday. Everything today has had trouble. Every technology's had trouble, including Zoom, which is not posting directly to Facebook Live. And so we're going to adapt. We're going to record this live with Tara, and then we're going to post it up to the Facebook group after I edit off the stuff we just went through.
Okay.
All right. Best we can do. I'm sorry about that. We will lodge your complaints for you with Zoom. But I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad you're able to watch this on Facebook and wherever else you're seeing it. Tonight we're going to talk to a good friend of ours and a longtime friend of ours, Tara Roehl, who is a speech pathologist in Colorado, originally from California. I'm sure she'll straighten that out if I got it backwards. And she's working in Telepractice, which is great. It's a great way to show how LessonPix can be used when you don't have kids locally to work with physical paper. And so she's going to walk us through some of that. Also, you've got some new stuff.
I do.
So we've got new templates that we're going to show.
And we'll see those at the end.
We'll show those right after Tara. So let's do a little introduction. Tara, let me see if I can get you back here in gallery view. Can you join us? Hi.
Hello, guys.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So I think I was right on Colorado now, California before. Is that correct?
California before, but I feel the need to preface that I'm not a Californian.
Oh.
That's looked poorly upon here in Colorado.
Oh, okay. All right.
I came from California to
Didn't know.
Colorado. So I'm a Midwesterner by birth. I'm an Illinois girl.
I said we're both native Floridians, so that's rare around here.
Very rare.
Yep. So listen, let me get out of your way. I will turn off my video, but you'll still be able to hear us. And let's see what you got. You're going to show us how you use us in Telepractice.
Hey, well, I've been doing Telepractice for about 7 years now.
Wow.
And I've been friends with Bill and Lori for probably about that long.
Yeah, not 7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was a bit of a learning jump to figure out how to get LessonPix, because I loved LessonPix when I had an in-person clinic, but when I left California, I closed my in-person clinic, went 100% Telepractice, and finding ways to use it online, not just, I printed off and used it a ton of my own personal children, but to use it that way. So if you've ever heard me speak or you've gone to any of my courses, I am a huge PowerPoint fan. I use it for everything related to Telepractice, and I use it for all my activities. And PowerPoint and LessonPix go really well together for a lot of my kids. So I actually pulled up a blank PowerPoint to show how I use it. And so I set up a couple activities here that I really, really love. One being, one of the things I love to do is using any of the picture cards primarily, but I'll even use the word strips. And what I'll do is in PowerPoint, I'll cover them all with squares, and then I'll use the animate feature. Now, the way I do this and the key and the trick to it is setting your LessonPix file as the background of your PowerPoint, because then the kids don't accidentally move your actual LessonPix worksheet. And I'll show that here in a second right after this. But then what I do is, for example, this is all just initial M. And actually, this is a worksheet I made for my son, who's working on initial M's right now. But all I did was covered it in squares and animated them. So then as I'm working with my kids online, and the great thing is I actually use Zoom for my telepractice. And the reason being is that I can give them cursor control. So then they can pick any square. Sometimes I'll make them different colors or give them different designs, but they can pick any square and uncover it and show the word. So therefore, I'm not only making it interactive, but I'm also building in multiple learning modalities for them. So they're not just sitting on the other side of the computer listening to me. They're actually kind of getting some of that kinesthetic movement and feedback by actually using their mouse or their touchscreen computer to start removing any of the squares. And then it gives them a little more power in the learning. The problem with Telepractice is a lot of the kids don't feel like they have a part in it because so much of it is receptive. And so by giving them the cursor control and then giving them the ability to select any of these squares, they start to have power and get to choose how we move around the board. Now, the way I do this, and like I mentioned, was I set my LessonPix worksheets as the background. So on the right-hand side here, you can see where I've got the format background. And the way I do this is I select picture or text fill and then file. Now, here's a little bit of the trick. You can only put image files as the background. So I use just a free software called GIMP, and I transfer all my PDFs that I get right off of the LessonPix website, and I switch them into typically a PNG just because it's got the higher resolution. And so if I wanted to do, let's say, the spaceboard game from a space unit we recently did, I can click Insert. Now it's the background. And what's great is then when I go back into showing it as a presentation again, specifically inside Zoom and a couple other of the programs that we use in Telepractice, you can turn on a feature that's called Annotate. And what Annotate does is it gives you pins or circles or markers. And so I'll have my kids, they might just mark all the spots that they've moved around by drawing a circle on it as they move. And then we'll just have different colors as we move through the board. And so that's another way that I'm able to use a lot of those game boards and a lot of the vocabulary that's important to them, especially if I have the parents send me pictures, maybe of a vacation or maybe of some of their favorite meals at home or some of the games they play with their sister. I can then, as you know, put those into my LessonPix and make custom boards that have pictures that really have that innate meaning to them, which is really important and really makes a good impact for a lot of my students. And again, it makes it interactive. They can join in. And so that's really gets us all kind of on the same page and pulling in that vocabulary from home, even though we might be states or even countries away, because a lot of my kids are international. So I work with a lot of international kids too. And then, I mean, it doesn't have to stick just to this board, the game board. We do the same thing with bingo as well, putting it in as the background, and then they can cover the spots as they remember or recall the words or use their sounds or any of those skills too.
Very cool. Now, a couple of things mentioned. You said you use GIMP to convert them. There is another option you guys have that maybe you're not aware of, but I thought I'd go ahead and show it.
You never know. What
Yeah. So let me share my screen for a second. GIMP is awesome. I use it all the time, and it is free. So I don't want you to think that I don't think that's the best option, but
it's very powerful.
It's
actually
incredibly powerful. If you just have Acrobat and you want to do the same thing, when you have the picture up in Acrobat, you can actually go into Edit.
This is the reader, not
this is the reader. You don't have to pay for the full Acrobat. And if you hit take a snapshot, you can actually just highlight the part you want to use, and it just copied that out to the clipboard. So then you can paste it into PowerPoint or Word or anything else that you want to use like that as well. So I thought
the problem with that is I can't set it as background is where I run into the problem. Then I'm saving as.
You have to save
that's where
it.
it catches me is I need it as the background.
Gotcha. So in that case, if you didn't want to use GIMP though, you could use something just like Paint that everybody has. Hit paste and then just save it as a PNG file, right? So you can certainly do that if you don't want to install. So the only reason I'm saying this is that some people are going to be like, I don't want to install anything. So this one uses just the things that they already have installed. You're not wrong. GIMP is awesome, right? I use it all the time, but certainly can do it with the things that are already installed as well.
Absolutely.
And you also can put the pictures directly in, right? You can put them there as well. So let me let you get back to what you were showing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No, it's okay. And then, like I said, I did the exact same thing, often using bingo cards. And the biggest point I like to make for all of this is not limiting it to just the games. What's great, and using some of the techniques Bill talked about, is a lot of times I will print off just a single card and make a single card just the background if we're going to talk about it. Using those annotate tools, like I mentioned, that are built into a lot of the conferencing software now. It gives my kids a lot of fun to draw an X on the guinea pig, circle something green. It really makes those any products you print off or create on LessonPix, it really gives them those multi-modalities that you can hit, you can get that interest. And the biggest thing and the biggest problem I see a lot of therapists running into when they're a teletherapist is talking at a kid and struggling to find ways that we can be interactive with the kids, clients, whoever we may be seeing on the other side of the screen. So really building it in, again, putting it as that background so they can't accidentally move it, and then using any of those annotate tools on it really allow us to play games. Again, it's really hard to, I do have 2 webcams on my computer, and I'll face one down almost as a document camera and might try to play a game with a kid on my own desktop and them telling me which one to move and those pieces, but it gets cumbersome, and heaven forbid I bump a piece Whereas being able to just use the ones that I create in LessonPix for my clients allows us to not have all those distractions and allow them to move their own pieces on the game board per se.
Very cool.
I like that a lot. I do very similar things with the smartboard and the classroom use. So I like, but I like this application for telepractice.
Yeah, it's kind of my way of creating my own smartboard
Yeah.
in PowerPoint. And PowerPoint then gives me those abilities. And then again, because we have those options to hand over cursor control in Zoom and some of the other conferencing softwares allows them to kind of walk up to the board and interact with it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we do work with Smart Notebook and Active Inspire, which is the other big smart board thing. And a lot of the things you're talking about are useful there as well, where you want to get it up on a screen. I know you've used the treasure map. Do you know our treasure map template? Right? There's a treasure map template that actually looks like a sandy beach kind of thing. And again, the kids get to move their fingers as they go around and you move tokens as you went from one to the other. And it's crazy.
We projected up on the smartboard, but I used to say Smart Notebook was like a simplified PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Like PowerPoint, you get so much more that you can do with it.
Yep.
But the same kind of thing. And the kids would go up there and again, like you said, being a lot more interactive and more fun. Like they're engaging in it. And I like on the smartboard where we got a lot of crossing the midline and large muscle movement.
Yeah.
That
I really encourage families who are getting laptops for me to work with Telepractice to get the ones that have the touch screen.
Yeah.
Because then I get that same effect of the kids can actually
and it's not a huge difference in cost.
Exactly.
Unless you're getting a gaming laptop, it doesn't cost that much extra to get the touch screen at this point.
Exactly. And it's really, it's more of what the kids are used to with iPads and cell phones and P's. They are much more comfortable with actually touching the screen. And again, it gives even more of that feedback than just the mouse or the trying to navigate a trackpad.
Hey, Tara, do you ever use like a true tablet, like an iPad or an Android as the client device? Do they use that?
I do, especially because I have some families in the more rural parts of the United States who don't have internet to their homes. It's fast enough to support telepractice, but they have cell phone plans that are.
Gotcha.
So I have families who will actually go use their iPad that they've got the built-in cell phone plan to, or even mom's cell phone for their session each week.
Can you still take over the cursor control using Zoom that way?
See, not really when it comes to like the tablet.
Gotcha.
They can a little bit on mine. It depends. There's a lot of if, then, but kind of situations.
Gotcha.
So I have troubleshooted it some with my husband. Like I can't take any cursor control on their iPad.
But they can
But they can have some control based on whether I'm using the whiteboard or the screen share, et cetera, using it through those clients.
Gotcha. So out of curiosity, how many clients, I don't want you to tell me all about your practice, but how when you're doing telepractice, ballpark, how many kids do you see a day? Is it a lot more, a lot less than you used to? I mean, what is the...
It's a lot less.
Okay.
It's a lot less. Kind of go ahead.
Is that intentional? Are you trying to scale back or not?
It's intentional only because of all the speaking I do and all the webinars I do now. I just hate to cancel.
It's not because of the telepractice. It's because of your life.
No, I have a wait list. I'm actually training SLPs right now to be able to share kind of my wait list with.
Yeah.
Because I'm very specialized, which is the other problem. So I do telepractice, but I also only do social cognition and executive functioning.
Gotcha.
I'll support some of the speech and language pieces built in there, but I stick more to that now. So I keep it limited to that. And then, common misconception as well. You don't have an office, you don't have rent, you don't have all this overhead, and it should be cheaper. But it's actually, like I'm showing here, it's a little bit more prep.
Right.
Than just printing off your LessonPix game board and running in. It's conversion and setting up. I literally have PowerPoint set up as my binders, my LessonPix game binders.
Gotcha.
So I could just pull it up and quickly access the games and stuff that I've created over time. And so it still charges families the same, but I do get to cut down on travel time or parents running late or getting stuck in traffic or even sick kids. Yeah. Because I don't have sick days because they still log in if it's the cold or the sniffles or things like that. So I get a lot less cancellations. And then, like I said, just based on time change, I actually do a lot more overseas now.
Right.
Than here in the States. So my Friday nights is Saturday morning in Asia.
So how does that work? And I know I'm getting off topic of LessonPix, which I'm sure you love. How does that work certification-wise? I know even some states aren't big fans of Telepractice, but countries are.
You have to have a license. So at the time we log in, so let's say you, Bill, and I, or Lori and I, we're having a session. At the time we're logging in, I have to hold at least usually 2 licenses for me because I don't have any clients in the state of Colorado. So I have to have a license where I physically am at the time of the session. And then I have to hold a license where my client physically is at the time of that session.
Oh, wow.
So I would need to hold a license here in Colorado and in Florida to have Lori's weekly session, for example. Now, if Lori goes on vacation to California, that'd be okay because I hold a California license too. So I could still see her while she's on vacation. If she went to Chicago for vacation, I'd be out of luck because I no longer hold an Illinois license. There. So we would have to cancel our session. Same thing if I'm on vacation. So if I go on vacation to visit Bill and Lori in Florida, I actually, if I had a Florida license, I'd be fine. If I don't, couldn't hold my session. And the same thing happens overseas. A lot of countries don't have licensure for SLPs yet, especially if you're looking at Africa, if you're looking at some of the more remote Asian countries, think like Philippines, places like that, they're just starting to get some licensure. But if they do put licensure, like Philippines recently got licensure. So I've had to go through the process with, thankfully, my family's on the ground playing interpreter for me to get a Philippines license as an SLP because I see clients in the Philippines from Colorado. So I have to hold a license at both places. Unless there's no licensure, then I just have to hold my current one.
Gotcha. And do your C's help with that? Without them, you'd be...
In some countries.
Gotcha.
The problem that we most often run into, actually, is when there's a national healthcare system. Because when there's Ireland is practically impossible. It's not impossible.
Gotcha.
And I know one hospital in Maine actually was able to get through the whole process, but it involves multiple lawyers and signing up for their national healthcare system. Wow. Because some of the laws regarding different, especially countries in the EU, a lot of their laws around their national healthcare systems mean that you can't be a private pay. And I know people who've actually planned their vacations so that they can put feet on the ground because you have to have feet on the ground to actually get the license stamped and then fly back out again.
Feet on the ground in Ireland is worth doing, so you should make that trip.
I know, right?
Time, right? Go see Carrie. But
exactly, that's what I keep saying. We have to go visit Carrie.
We need not the town. That's another speech path friend of ours, Carrie.
Oh, okay.
I forget her last name. She got married recently. So,
wow, that was really interesting and probably really helps a lot of the SLPs.
Absolutely, a lot of speech paths are talking about it, but I don't know a whole lot that have jumped 100% in to Telepractice. So that's great.
It's really nice to meet someone who's currently doing it.
Yeah,
to kind of say, oh, it's not so bad.
So little plug for you before we move on to some other stuff. You are still, even though it is not the same as it used to be, you are still on Twitter at SpeechyKeenSLP. And I'm still there at LessonPix, but it's not as much fun as it used to be. But it is a way to get in touch with you if people have questions, right? And us too. We read our Twitter all the time. But that's great. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else urgent that we need to see from you that you really think is just awesome? I'm sure you're using the symbol the symbol builder all the time now.
All the time.
I know.
All the time. It's giving me so much flexibility.
Yeah, she's one of the ones who pushed for us to get that done. So yeah. All right.
Poked.
I'm really glad you showed the power of using LessonPix on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
In applications, because it is a PDF file. It is an image.
It's a normal. We standardize on. We use industry standards rather than having our own. Right. There is no LP2 file. Right. There's no equivalent of a BM2 file. We didn't go that route. We went with the standards because we want you using the tools you already know. You know PowerPoint, use it. If you know Word, use it. If you know Google Docs, use it. Whatever it is you're using, our symbols are available, and we enforce copyright with copyright law. Right. I mean, you're using this in your practice. That's perfectly fine. If you decided to go sell them, we'd have to have words. Right.
Absolutely. Right. I know that's a no-no.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry we had the technical issues with Zoom and Facebook, but let's You have some stuff to show, and then if I might pop in and show something too.
You should. Okay.
All right.
Well, we're just real quick here on what we have this week.
And I'm going to leave you up here while we share our other screen.
Sure.
I'm going to kick over here and spotlight it. All right. So, Miss Lori, what's this?
So what we have, last time we were together, I showed a lot of new templates, completely new, like certificates, and we had the door hangers.
Mm-hmm.
This time we have just different styles of
Current templates.
And this one here is a board game.
Gotcha.
Just like Tara showed, a very simple board game.
Right.
This one's dinosaur themed.
Gotcha. And you made it with D words.
I did.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which actually worked out well.
Dinosaurs are going to come back, aren't they?
Dinosaurs, we like to pick things that are popular with the kids. Jurassic Park came out recently, so there's a plethora of toys.
All right.
And interest
areas. And it's got all your dinos. It's got all the ones I can't say and the ones I can.
Perfect.
And a Jeep at the end, so you get to go home. All right, and this is another dinosaur.
Another dinosaur. And this is in our schedules.
Gotcha.
Just going from head to tail. This was a popular request asked for by several different people to put a dinosaur schedule.
Gotcha. And this is under picture schedules.
Picture schedules, you can do 2 pictures.
Gotcha.
Like a first then, up to 10 different pictures in your sequence.
Oh, and I can see that it's made so that 2 would look good, right? This dinosaur has spots. Very good.
You got it.
All right. And
of course, if you have dinosaurs, you need mermaids.
That's right. And this is just because we have a mermaid staying at our house right now.
We do. Bella is a big mermaid fan, and so I had to make mermaid themed as well.
Gotcha.
So here we have 1 to 10 pictures on our mermaid schedule, same place under picture schedules, and you can do 2 pictures to 10.
Excellent. And it works just the same as our other templates, like the train ones, and it'll be
this
in there.
This one goes left to right again around the mermaid.
All right, left to right, or clockwise.
Clockwise.
All right, what's this? Dinosaurs.
Themed picture cards.
Gotcha. So these are they actually have an outline that you can cut out here. I don't know if they can, let me see if they can see that. It's kind of blasted.
Yep, there's a light gray.
Let me do this.
You can kind of see it.
But they can see the one underneath it. I don't like that. All right, there you go. See? I know what I'm doing. All right, so you can see here there's actually an outline for you to cut out. And so you can put people's photos or whatever else you want in there. And this is under theme picture cards, which also have frogs and a bunch of other stuff too, right?
As well as mermaids.
Oh, now we have mermaids. Look at that. And now we have mermaids as well. I'm not a mermaid. Where's my merman?
I did not make any
This is not right. This is not okay.
We're only girls. Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. What else you got here?
Ocean.
All right. Bingo daubers.
Bingo daubers.
Excellent. Everybody loves the bingo daubers. And we have the dinosaur theme. I'm assuming there's a mermaid theme as well. So let me see. Oh, look at that. See that?
These are the new styles of current templates, mermaid themed, dinosaur themed.
Gotcha. And then we have what? One more set.
We have one more set. I have who has.
I have who has. So, we have dead air right now. That's not good. All right. So I have who has. This is a great game, Tara. I bet you use this game. There you go. So I have who has, and of course it automatically walks through. I have job who has sub. I have sub who has knob. Knob? I guess there's a knob in there. Oh. Yeah. Tub.
Oh. Yep.
There's a flaw.
I gotta fix this.
All right, there's a flaw. Don't use this one yet.
Hasn't been tested.
You tested it, not me. So that'll be fixed before the night ends. I know what you did wrong too. Is this one wrong too?
Yeah.
Oh no. All right. This is I have Bib who has cub, and we'll leave it at that.
There you go.
So, but it's got the great mermaid stuff on it. All right, so we've got those. Let's go back to us here for a second.
Yep.
So these are all up now. I have who has a flaw that'll be fixed immediately, and it's an easy fix because I know what you did wrong.
I'm glad you found it.
Yeah. So you did it though. It's not mine. I'll fix it. So I do have one other thing I want to show.
Okay.
And I've showed it before, but not during a show and tell, and I think it's important to get out there. We have lots and lots of people who say to us, what if you don't have the template I need? What else can what if I want to put 2 pictures on a page? What if I want to make longer sentences or move the text where I want, things like that? So I want to make sure everybody is aware that we actually do support. Now you saw Tara using our pictures in Word, in PowerPoint, but I actually want to go ahead and share my screen here for a second. Oops. Share my screen and show you guys the plugin we have for Microsoft Word. Okay, every time this time of year, lots and lots of questions come in, but we have a plugin for Microsoft Word where you can just go right in here and search for any picture you want. If you need a picture of a duck, I will find. It may have to make me log in again. There you go. It didn't. I can just click on a picture of a duck. It will drop it right into Microsoft Word. Now I can go in, resize it. I can rotate it. I can put as many as I want on a page. I can do anything that Microsoft lets you do with a picture with our symbols. So let me show you how to add this. It doesn't cost a penny. If you're already a LessonPix user, you just get full access to it. The way you do it, any Microsoft Word 2012 or higher, so I'm on a blank document here. What you do is you go up to Insert, and you find the word Store. And on newer ones, I think it's farther over to the right, but it's Store, and it has a red shopping bag. When you click, you'll have all the add-ins for Microsoft Word. There are actually a lot to look at in here, but ours, you just search for the word LessonPix. We are spelled with an X, not a CS. If you click here and hit Add, it will drop it right here on the right-hand side. Okay? Now, the very first time you open this, it will ask you to log in. You're going to use the same username and password that you used to get into the main site. If you are logged in, and I think I am here. Let me see. Yeah, if you're logged into LessonPix and you have things in your tray, I'm just throwing some random things in the tray, and you go back to Microsoft Word, this little refresh will show you those same pictures. So they'll be in your tray. If you click on any of your pictures, it will drop them directly in there. And this can be great for a number of things. If maybe you just want to have like lots of text at the bottom, you can have the text wrap around the pictures. You can even do things like under Format here, you can add a drop shadow like this. You can rotate it, and you can even make it look artistically like Sketch or even like Minecraft. So if you need to use any of our pictures and you have a big Minecraft kiddo, you can just do that. Use all of our pictures. Again, we enforce copyright with copyright protection, not with technology. And so if you want to do that, please do. Absolutely. If you have questions about it, let us know. We have videos that show you how to do it. I'm sure, Terry, I'm sure you've used it. She's great up there. And so if you have any questions, let me know. I do want to make sure people know about that because it is such a common request that says, but wait, I want something different. Great, go use it. After you use it and it works, send us a request to make it a template. If it's something that everybody's going to want, we will certainly add it, right?
We will do our best to add it.
We will
It is
do our
not
best
easy
to add it.
templates.
Yes, and we can make small errors and they're embarrassing.
Yes. I hope that's my biggest crime.
Yeah, I hope so. So, all right, so that's kind of everything I wanted to show.
And you can find videos about Word on YouTube.
Absolutely. If you do a Google search for LessonPix Word, Microsoft Office, they'll just pop right up. Also, if you go to the main page of LessonPix, there's all of our videos are down at the bottom in a little picture that has a cinema on it.
And that takes you to our channel.
Takes you to our YouTube channel, and it's right there.
There you
go. Okay. Beautiful. All right. All right, Tara. Thank you for joining us and for putting up with our challenges this evening, and I really appreciate it. I hope things are going great in your practice. And if there's anything we can do to make this better for you, let us know.
It's great to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.